Welcome back, guys. This is a very exciting episode. Well, something that I am very excited about.
Me too. But okay, for warning our listeners.
Yes.
We are doing our due diligence to social distance. So today we are recording from afar.
Yes. In my bedroom.
And in my studio / office / where we always record.
Right. Cozy.
Yeah. So hopefully everyone's doing okay because this is a super weird time. But I'm still working. I'm just working from home and been, drinking some alcohol throughout the evenings to keep me sane. How about you, Jen?
I do feel that the problem at the end of this is going to be that I may have an actual problem. Because every day I'm just like, well, I mean, I can put Bailey's in my coffee. It's totally fine. I'm not really working. And I could have a drink at 5 when I'm making supper because it's, it's a Tuesday. And why not?
Why not? If I had Bailey's in the house, I would totally be doing the same thing. And then when I was at the liquor store, I was like, nope, not even going to go down that slippery slope because that's what it is. It's a slippery slope.
Slippery slope indeed.
Yes. Anything new with you, Jen? Any, dare I ask, any ramped up paranormal activity in the house now that they've got a more permanent house guest?
No, they're probably just entertained by me, I would say, at this point.
I would
with
say too.
My, just singing to myself, talking to myself. Yeah, I'm sure they're entertained. But no, I haven't had any action as of late, so... Still good. And I did smudge again, so that might have helped as well.
Excellent. That is very good. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Very proud of you. I keep joking that my cats are my new coworkers, and I would give one of them the employee of the week, and one wouldn't because he's super annoying and wants my attention all the time. So maybe if stuff starts happening, Jen, you could nominate your house ghosts to be employees of the month. I think they would be extra entertained by that.
That's a very good idea. Maybe I should.
Make them up, like print them off a little certificate. And put it up on the wall for them.
Exactly.
You know their names, right?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Oh my God. Well, Jen, I miss your presence being right here next to me, but this is definitely the next best option.
Yep. This is just how we're going to have to do it.
Yep, for sure. So, like you had mentioned, we've got this pretty exciting show coming up today.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles, California, and it's very well known. So if you're the type of person who's into conspiracies or true crime stories involving a high-profile serial killer and the Black Dahlia, then you should damn well know about the Cecil Hotel.
Yes. I couldn't keep up with your clap. I was trying and I ended up slapping my phone instead, so... But also, we've mentioned the mysterious case of Elisa Lam a couple of times before. This is the hotel where her life ended and the freaky way she ended up dead.
It is so scary.
Yes, this place is scary AF. We are definitely here for it. We are here to tell you all about the crazy stories about this place. Where should we start, Kim?
Well, before we dive too deep into the stories of the Cecil Hotel...
Yes.
We're going to get in this bourbon that I have here in front of me, and I will virtually cheers you, Jen.
Yes.
But I have Buffalo Trace, and I know that you can tell me a story or two about this place. Have you ever been to Buffalo Trace before?
I have. It was a lovely place.
Yes? Did you see any buffalo?
Negative. I would have liked to see some buffalo. I mean, there was actually, I take that back. I have a picture of a fake buffalo that's out in the garden area. So
yes, you do.
That counts.
Definitely counts. Besides having fantastic bourbon. And what's really funny too is my husband, Brian, and I, we bought this before this lockdown happened. And I tried it for the first time in 6 months. And I was like, oh my God, this bourbon is so good. For the price, you really need to revisit Buffalo Trace because it's so good, neat.
Well, I might have to just drive out there once this is all said and done and have another sip then because I don't have that available here today. But
if you're lucky, because it's probably not going to be left by the time you get here. It's so good. Anyway, Buffalo Trace is a very haunted distillery. We found out when we were there last May. And there are multiple ghosts on the property, which makes it extra cool, in my opinion anyway.
Yeah. I especially liked that lady, I can't remember her name, time out of her day to tell us all these fun stories.
She did. She told us stories that she doesn't tell everybody, which was amazing. Loved her. And it's so rude that we can't remember her name. Okay, so Jen, cheers to you. A virtual cheers in the air. I'm having a sip here for you. I'm not about to pour any out for my homie.
Okay. Well, now that we've got some warm bourbon pockets, it's time for a little Would You Rather. Would you like to go first or would you like me to go first?
You go right ahead.
Okay. Well, I mean, since we are talking about this lovely place that we're both familiar with, and maybe just based on what you just said with what you're drinking, if you had to spend a night, would you rather spend a night in the Cecil Hotel or would you rather spend a night in Buffalo Trace's distillery there in the like little area that we were in? I can't remember what the building was called, but with all the barrels, obviously.
Oh, yes. Warehouse
in
C.
In the upstairs part where she had some scary things happen.
Yeah. Wasn't it like workers would see a worker's legs dangling from like the top rafter?
Yes.
Yeah. I think I'm going to choose Buffalo Trace because it is so beautiful there. And I feel like the ghosts aren't like big, bad, and scary. I feel like we would all be able to share a common interest, which is bourbon. So we might be able to communicate. And
there's a chance that you'd be able to drink something that was really delicious as well.
Very true. Yeah. Sorry, Cecil, not interested. All right, okay. Jen, if you were killed in Los Angeles, would you rather come back as a ghost on LA Skid Row or come back as a ghost but stuck in the Cecil Hotel, which is very close to Skid Row?
You know what? I'm going all out here. I'm going to hit up Skid Row. I feel like I could really keep it entertaining and keep it real down there for everybody.
Oh, my God.
I just don't know if I'll get the same. I might get bored in the hotel, like waiting for
Right. At least you could do really big like exercise classes where everybody just kind of joins into what you're doing on Skid Row.
I do feel like that's my calling for when I pass over. I'm just gonna do ghost exercise classes for
fitness.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Well, I don't know if I'll be joining you because in this life I don't necessarily love exercising, but if I could get you and only you as my spirit fitness teacher, it would totally happen.
Oh, well, there we go.
I would do it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, that was fun. So just after the break, we're going to get into today's main topic, which is the Cecil Hotel. I am so excited.
Welcome back, everybody. So today's show topic is going to be so great. We're going to talk about the Cecil Hotel, which is located on 640 South Main Street in Los Angeles. And the signage says, "Stay on Main," but it's actually closed. This hotel/hostel hasn't been in operation for what looks to be at least a couple of years now. This place is now featured on a property developer's website as a future project, but there's been rumors that the new owners have contracts in place for upcoming movies, and one in particular surrounds the Elisa Lam case.
Okay, so now let's get into the history of this creepy-ass hotel. Originally built by hotel designer William Banks in 1924. It was built for business travelers and tourists, and at the time it cost about $1 million to build. Inside the lobby, it features a marble lobby complete with stained glass windows, potted palm trees, and statues too. And after its initial opening, just 5 years later, the U.S. hit the Great Depression, but somehow it managed to flourish as the destination for tourists throughout the 1940s. But then after its heyday, an area nearby started to become known as Skid Row, where as many as 10,000 homeless people lived within a 4-mile radius. So then, by the 1950s, the hotel was known as a hotspot for transients, and it wasn't until 2011 that the hotel was rebranded as the Stay on Main. Still, some dark and freaky stuff happened from then until 2014 when the hotel was sold and then leased. But get this, it was leased on a property for 99 years. The company that started this lease is called Simon Barron Development, and they plan to preserve the historical significant components of the hotel and install bathrooms to each of the rooms. And they also had planned to add amenities like a gym and a pool and a lounge at the time. But then in 2017, the LA City Council voted to deem the Cecil Hotel as a historic cultural monument because of its early 20th century significance as a hotel and the architecture within it.
Well, the strangest started occurring in 1931 when a man named W. Norton decided to eat a bunch of poisonous pills, and well, you know what happened.
Yes.
Yes. Later throughout the 30s, there was a string of other suicides, from a gunshot wound to the head to jumping from high floors. Then throughout the 40s and 50s, this place was a hotbed for more suicides. This place was run rampant with drugs and prostitution as well. In 1944, a 19-year-old Dorothy was sharing a room with her older boyfriend, who was 38 at the time. Dorothy claimed she didn't know she was pregnant, but went into labor. She didn't want to wake her boyfriend, so she went into the bathroom to deliver a baby.
Oh my God.
The bathrooms aren't in the same room, by the way. There's clusters of them at the end of the hallways. So, unfortunately, she thought her baby was stillborn. Trigger warning. She threw her baby out the window.
Oh my God.
She was later charged with murder, but then pleaded insanity. In 1947, a 35-year-old man named Robert died after jumping from a 7th floor window. In 1947, the famous Black Dahlia, the actress whose real name was Elizabeth Short, was seen here just days before her murder. She was spotted drinking at the bar. Back to the jumping from windows scenario, people jumped from the windows in 1954, a 55-year-old woman. In February of 1962, a 50-year-old Julia jumped from the 8th floor. And again in 1962, in October this time, 27-year-old Pauline jumped from the 9th floor.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of jumpers.
Wow. So in 1964, hotel worker Pigeon Goldie was found in her room, stabbed, raped, and beaten to death. And to this day, her murder remains unsolved. In 1985, the famous serial killer, also known as the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez, stayed in room 1419 on the 14th floor. This was his residence during the string of some of his killings. In 1991, serial killer Jack Unterweger stayed here as well. And in 1992, a man was found in the back alley of the Cecil, and it was thought that he had either jumped or fell from the hotel's 15th floor. They have never identified his body. Now, in 2013, a young lady named Elisa Lam was found inside of one of the water supply tanks on the roof of her hotel. She had actually gone missing on January 31st and was not found until February 19th. which is, of course, 3 weeks later.
Yeah, I guess why they were inspired to find her.
Jen, this is so nasty and it's just crazy, but the guests at the hotel complained of the water tasting funny. So, I know. On February 19th, following a rash of complaints to the front desk, a maintenance worker named Santiago Lopez was sent to inspect the rooftop water tanks. There, in one of the 4 8-foot-tall cisterns, he discovered the naked, bloating body of a young woman. Her skin was marbled and visibly decomposing. Oh my God. I noticed the hatch to the main water tank was open and looked inside and saw an Asian woman lying face up in the water, Lopez recalled in court documents.
Disgusting. So, info from Wikipedia says that video surveillance footage taken from inside an elevator shortly before her disappearance showed Lam acting strangely, pressing multiple elevator buttons, hiding in the corner of the elevator, and waving her arms wildly, causing widespread speculation about the cause of her death. After the elevator video was released, many theories arose about Lam's death. Lam was reported to have had bipolar disorder, for which she was prescribed various medications, which could have contributed to her death, as well as her strange behavior in the elevator.
However, though, rumors persist that she died as a result of playing the elevator game.
Mm-hmm.
Jen, you know about that game, don't you?
Yes.
If you guys didn't listen to the episode where we talked about games, it's called Let's Play a Game. Just go have a listen. You will hear how to play the elevator game, although it is still not advised.
No. And for some, it may be just a little too, I just don't think I would remember how to do it all. I feel like I would mess it up anyway, so.
Yep. Just not worth trying. Just not worth it.
Just
no. Mm-mm.
Well, then there's also the fact that reports have said she was naked in the water reservoir and that there's no way she could have climbed up to the top lid and jumped in herself. It was just too heavy and too high for her to be able to do that. And then lastly, there was another death there in 2015 of a 28-year-old male guest. It would seem that there are 16 reported cases of deaths from non-natural causes. So, yeah. We've got some paranormal stories about people who have tried to contact the dead while staying there. This was one from a guy named Tim Wood. In December of 2014, we got the opportunity to investigate the hotel room where Elisa Lam stayed in before she mysteriously disappeared and was later found in the hotel Cecil's water tank. Her death till this day is still unsolved, and many people believed that there are paranormal causes that can be attributed to it. We thought it would be a good idea to use the Ouija board, and we were shocked at some of the answers that we received. I firmly believe that the responses that we captured in Elisa Lam's room were not from Elisa, but rather from an evil presence that resides in the hotel. Later in the video, we also get to investigate the elevator, which many people believe is haunted as well.
Nice. Okay, so this story is from memoryprojects.com. It's called My Dad's Haunted Hotel Experience. Every time he told the story, I could feel the fear coming off of him in waves, even after so much time had passed. He claims he went to sleep that night in his room at the Cecil, only to awaken to the feeling that he was being choked. He was bathed in a cold sweat and couldn't move or call for help. He felt hands around his throat, but could not see anyone. He literally thought he was going to die in that room. Finally, the feeling left him. He bolted out of the room and ran downstairs to the front desk. He gasped for breath, and he told the hotel clerk what had happened. The clerk said that someone had been murdered in that room. Dad was able to get his room changed, as he made it clear he would never sleep another moment in that room. Did my dad have a supernatural experience in that room? Was it the room the pigeon lady was murdered in just the year before? I'll never know, but it sure does make for one hell of a story. You are right.
I definitely wouldn't want to stay there either.
No.
Then a response to that story. I stayed at Cecil Hotel in April 2011 and decided today to do more searching on whether it was haunted. My journey started with a long flight from the UK, but surprisingly I felt pretty refreshed, although I had done the journey on a few occasions and usually felt wiped out. I arrived at the hotel and the lobby area seemed fine, but once I reached my floor, the atmosphere changed completely. I felt completely ill at ease once I entered my room. It wasn't the shabbiness or the downtown area, but was just the feeling and coldness I felt. I left the room after about 45 minutes because I really did not want to be there. I was booked in for 2 nights. The first night I hardly slept despite my body clock being 8 hours different to LA. On the Saturday night, I went to the room as late as possible. I was laying there trying to sleep and wishing the morning would hurry up so I could get to Thousand Oaks to get picked up by my sister at 11. As I lay there, I heard what I thought was rustling like someone's going through a plastic bag. I felt very cold, and then I felt what appeared to be a weight on top of me and something around my throat. I honestly was very scared and stayed awake until 6 in the morning when I checked out. My sister was surprised when I called her from Denny's saying I was there 3 hours earlier. This room not only affected my mobile, it stopped working when I arrived at the hotel and started to work again once I got to my sister's, but I have put this down to a bad signal. But it really did affect me, and it took a few days to get over the experience. Yes, it was a shabby hotel, loud, a bad area, but I would have coped pretty well with these factors alone. Is it haunted? I can only report what happened to me, and I had no information on this hotel before I arrived other than a reservation based on a picture of the lobby posted on the internet.
I also found a news article that says this: Downtown Los Angeles, KABC. The Cecil Hotel was once a part-time home to serial killer, the Night Stalker, and murder victim, the Black Dahlia, but it may now be home to a haunting new visitor. An Eyewitness News viewer claims to have captured a ghostly image outside the famous downtown Los Angeles hotel. Kostin Alderate, a Riverside boy with a love of scary films and ghost stories, took the picture, which shows a ghostly figure outside the 4th floor window. He says it looks a little too real. When I looked at the window, it just looked kind of creepy to me, and then I showed my friend, and he kind of freaked out. It just really creeps me out still. He says his ghost photo has already cost him some sleep and caused him to have a nightmare. I did see the picture. We will have to post this picture to social media at some point because it is really creepy. It looks like the outline of a ghost, but in like full color coming out of the window.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's definitely a good one. Well, guys, that pretty much wraps up today's episode all about the Cecil Hotel. We sincerely hope you enjoyed that episode. I've heard so many stories and definitely was inspired to do it after watching the American Horror Story. Was it called Hotel?
I don't remember, but I'm also remembering that we actually watched the video footage from... Didn't we? I don't know if it was YouTube or what, but her playing the elevator game. Like that is somewhere's on the internet because I feel like we both watched it together.
You can find that video pretty much anywhere. Just type Elisa Lam elevator and it'll show you the footage that the security camera took, and it is creepy because she's doing these weird things with her hands, and like her hands look like they're bending backwards. She's like paddling the air with her hands. It's really...
It is creepy. Or she's just done some really good drugs and is just really having a time.
Or that. And the other thing is people can't understand how she got in there because I guess the door to it was really heavy and it was really high up and she had no clothes on in there either. So it's really wild. It almost seems like something paranormal to me. I don't know. I'm skeptical, but really weird.
I feel you.
If you guys want to find more of myself and Jen on social media, you can find us on Instagram, which is Booze and Bourbon, BOOSAND Bourbon. And we're also on Facebook. We're Booze and Bourbon, the podcast. We are also on Twitter, but shamelessly, I never ever update Twitter. And if you want to email us a story or a would you rather question, you can always email us at boozeandbourbon@gmail.com. You can pretty much listen to us anywhere podcasts live. And we are part of the ABV network. So if you're interested in bourbon, you should definitely check out some of their shows.
Yes, you should.
All right, guys. Well, stay tuned for an all new episode next Friday.
Hang in there, everyone. We're going to get through this.
We are. I know we are.